Hello and welcome to the Hit the Post podcast, episode 2. And thank you for your overwhelming response and feedback to our previous first video. It's a pleasure to have you all back with us on the second episode. And for those who don't know, the first episode feedback was basically that I have no audio. So now, hopefully, having the phone right in front of me will have better audio. But we're gonna have to wait and see. So let's get on with episode 2. I must mention that today we have an Arsenal fan in our podcast, and while you all might think that it's fun, I must mention that it's going to be quite a tough conversation with us. So, Zan, go for it.
Hi guys, what's up? Thank you for having me. First of all, I want to congratulate both of you all. Vihan, firstly, because Liverpool had a match season. They totally deserve the win. And even last season to play at that intensity and that level, it's just phenomenal. I don't know how long it will go on for, but the great 2 seasons. And coming to United with Bruno and Pogba firing guns, they've been mad. They look like top contenders next season. And I don't know, it's going to be very difficult for us.
I mean, getting into top four, like scraping through top four was not ideal for us. Hopefully, we'll next season we can get a bit higher and closer to Liverpool, not just 31 points behind.
But the
I
top
think
four is
that's
the
very
highlight of the season.
ambitious. That is very ambitious, I must say. Um, I think United have really bolstered their squad, and they've really added a lot. They've added Bruno Fernandes, and a lot of these young superstars that are coming up, which is like Mason Greenwood and Brandon Williams. Some really top names coming up through the academy, and let's see if they'll be able to handle it. But so far, they've been doing well, and Zan, I think can we count on Arsenal to get into the top six? Can we count on Arsenal to get into the top 10
Top
next
10
year?
is, yeah,
Yeah, top
that's more
top
reasonable.
top 10 is happening for sure. Like this year, it was eighth this season, and that was, I think this has been the worst season I remember in forever. I think if we wouldn't have, like, the end of the season was just like, the little glimmer of hope that we actually needed for next season. But I think this was one of the worst seasons we'll ever see as a club, and I think we're only going to move forward from here. But talking about Bruno, genuinely, I think I don't remember a player coming in the middle of the season and lifting the team up. So Bruno has been a crazy signing. I hope we get somebody like this who just lifts the team up and takes it to the next level. That will be all we need, really.
Didn't you sign Pepe
Yeah,
for that reason?
definitely.
Pepe has not had a bad season for the first season. He's not been that bad.
For 72
Considering we
million?
were going for Lemar or
Can't,
Pepe, and Lemar was zero, and Pepe at least gotten 7 goals and 5 assists. So
I mean, whatever floats your boat, but I mean, Pepe has been a little bit in and out here and there, but his free kicks have
yeah,
been
true.
absolutely stunning. And let's just say that I never expected them to sign Pepe, given the obvious transfer fee, which was I think 72 million. So it was
That's
quite
correct.
an interesting signing, and I think he has a lot to live up to, which is why probably it's a lot of controversy with his season.
I mean, he
True.
also
Yeah,
did dribble
yeah.
pass through Van Dijk, which is the achievement for Arsenal fans. Am I right, Zahan?
Hey, come on. Everybody was boasting about that stat, huh? Not just the Arsenal fans. Apparently, it's
Congratulations,
a very big thing.
I don't think anyone was boasting about it. I think
congratulations,
it was only Arsenal fans.
It was
only
no
Arsenal
Arsenal
fans.
fans didn't care about it. We didn't even realize it
Oh,
till
oh, you didn't
everybody
care
else brought
about
it
it.
up that, oh, it's the first time Van Dijk's been dribble past. But now I don't know if only our players have the talent.
I
Like,
think
I
someone's
can't
not
help it.
watching AFTV.
Oh my God.
AFTV
Okay,
is toxic.
fantastic. So actually today we have a lot to talk about with you, Azan. So why don't we just get straight into it with the football of
Yeah,
the week
totally looking
segment?
forward to it.
Super. So getting on to this new FA Cup celebration jersey. I don't think anyone knows, but Arsenal have released a brand new celebration jersey for the FA Cup win, which is just so Arsenal-esque, So give us your take on it.
No, so basically what they've done is, so it's our normal home jersey of the last season with always forward and 14 written at the back. 14 because it's the 14th FA Cup. And I think it's genuinely an achievement. Like United at 12, nobody else, like we are two above everybody else. So even though you all may say that FA Cup is not a big cup, I think every trophy matters. And it was kind of, and just like for the memory, And like, they have the T-shirt with the team printed on it, and 2020 FA Cup, at least something in 2020 for Arsenal fans to look forward to. You know what I mean? So I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just it's good. And the last trophy one was in 2017, I think, if I'm not wrong. So it was very important to convert this one and get this in. So yeah,
I
this
mean,
was.
it
I'm
matters
happy.
as long as you win,
Saving
right?
grace. Yeah, that is what I believe.
Um, I mean, I've never really heard of a team having a celebration jersey, so it's definitely a first. Harsh, have you heard about this?
Never. I mean, celebration jerseys, I've heard players wearing celebration jerseys when they win the league, which is normal for everyone. But I've never heard like teams selling celebration jerseys, especially for FA
See,
Cup.
I
I
think
can understand Champions
especially
League or I can understand Premier League, but FA Cups, really? Like, come on. I mean,
See, right now, basically, I have to get to the point about finances, because with COVID being around us and the club not getting any revenue through the ticket sales and even the broadcasting money going down, the FA said that from next season they're going to reduce the cup winning price. So you have to think about finances. The club has to do anything in its power to raise money, because just now everybody is in a bad scenario and you have to keep going. Like, so I think whatever helps the club to go, I'm up for it. I'm in for it. I'm happy for them.
I think Arsenal used
Interesting.
their 10 years transfer budget on Pepe last season. That's why they're struggling.
I think you brought up a very interesting point about the COVID situation, and I think the news broke out. I think last week about Stan Kroenke firing 55 employees. Now, if you look at the stats of that, I think even if you consider like, even if they're making £50,000 a year, I think their total cost over the last overall 55 of them will come to about 2.5 million. Now, Stan Kroenke being a billionaire, do you think that was the right move? And also the fact that Oates is on a 355
Okay.
50
So
thousand pound week per week.
yeah. So there are two sides to this story. The first side is what came out in the media directly stating that he has removed 55 employees, and they are not looking forward to it. They're going to sign Willian for big money. They're going to pay him a big weekly wage. It's coming for free, but the big weekly wage. But the other side, which has come out now, is stating that there has been a internal investigation on the transfer fee of Pepe, which was for 72 million. Arsenal pay over 50 million, or sorry, over 5 years, 50 million to the club, and they paid a stand-up fee. So the investigation was whether the scouts made the club overpay. And if you go back and see that out of the 55 people who have been removed, most of them were the high-level scouts in Europe, and through them is who Pepe came into. So many of the people believe that both the things are interlinked, and the media just gave out a one-sided story of the whole picture. So I don't know. Basically, I think just now to remove people is very sad, and even after the players took a wage cut, but I don't know if it is linked with the internal investigation about Arsenal. I think massively overpaying 72 for Pepe. Come on, like 72 for Pepe, that to Arsenal paying it. I was happy that we have started to pay and we are getting the players in, but everybody thought that was too much money. So maybe there's something there which is happening behind the scene and we don't know about it. Maybe the news will come out in a few days. So I can't really tell what is the entire scenario.
Interesting. Harsh, you want to chime in? I want to know your opinion on this.
I mean, if that's the story, then it does make sense why they did fire them. But I mean, it could have been done at a better time. Like if when COVID ceases, then they could have done that,
I
because
agree.
it's not easy finding jobs right now in this environment. Ask me, I can't find a job. That's why I'm doing this podcast right now. But yeah,
Hashtag
I mean,
jobless.
yeah, jobless. But yeah, I think it makes sense if that's the whole situation. But if not, then it is a pretty bad deal for Kroenke and Arsenal to remove these people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think I definitely agree. It's very hard to find jobs right now, and I think it's a little insensitive, in my opinion, to do this at this kind of a time.
I
But
agree.
I mean, it's
I agree.
Arsenal. What do you expect? It's Arsenal. So,
Hey, we've been
so
we've been very good to the people who work for us so far. This is the first time I've heard of something like this. But as I said, that I can't tell because I don't know the entire picture. There are two sides to every coin, so we don't know what is true. We may have to wait for the club to clarify on the situation.
I must say that's a very diplomatic view. I've heard a lot of Arsenal fans say, Kroenke out and everything. So it's a very diplomatic view, I must say. Yeah, so getting on to the rest of the season. tell me, are Arsenal the banter club anymore? Are they all banter FC anymore? Or do you think this season was, finishing eighth and then also having a trophy? Like, where do you stand with this season? Success, failure? Go.
Okay, so basically, I think in the Premier League, there's no doubt about it. It was a total failure. We were starting to win games, and then we again lost continuously on the trot. And then again, every time we built up some momentum, there was something that happened and we messed up. And like there were very few positives in the Premier League. But I think the end of the season, winning the FA Cup, like let me not specify the FA Cup, let me say winning any cup in such a season for any team would be big. Because okay, let's see, right now United have not won a single cup this season. They are in for it, but they haven't won anything yet. Chelsea have got nothing. Spurs have got nothing. So to win a trophy right now, I think it's a good start, and especially for Arteta in his first season to win a trophy, and that to beating City in the semis and Chelsea in the finals, it's with the kind of defense right now that we possess is not easy. So I think it's a great start for Arteta. Considering the trophy, if we wouldn't have won that, it would be an absolutely atrocious season. But just the trophy, it gives us a little glimmer of hope for the future, and seeing Arteta's tactics work out on point.
Yeah, I
Do you
guess
think?
you could say it's kind of a silver lining of the season.
Exactly.
But Harsh, I wanted to ask you, was United season better than Arsenal season, considering that they won a trophy?
Well, if you're taking trophies into account, I think Champions League qualification also matters. So if you're looking at that perspective, I think getting a Champions, I mean, Zahan would agree, like getting a Champions League over FA Cup will be a priority for the club, which was for us as well. And considering the position that we were before COVID and before Bruno Fernandes signed, I think this season was pretty good. Like it's a weird feeling to be called the third best team in England, which might not be true, but yeah, the table shows that. So I'm pretty okay with how United season went. In terms of Arsenal, I think Arteta's tactics, they're good tactics, but I don't think he has the players for his own tactics. I think he needs some investment from his own club. When that does arrive, I don't know if it'll arrive or no. Sorry, Zahan, but when that does arrive, then I think
That's
we'll
fine.
see Arsenal's revival in the league. But Vihan, I wanted to ask you about Liverpool.
I'd like
Like,
to.
I mean,
Sorry.
so Liverpool have played really well this season. I mean, I don't know if I could really ask you about any weaknesses, but going forward next season, do you think there is a weakness that Liverpool needs
Precisely.
to fix?
That United need to fix?
Liverpool.
That Liverpool need to fix? Yeah, so I would say that keeping up this kind of intensity is not easy. I think everyone can agree with me on this that the intensity of Liverpool's gameplay is very grueling, a lot of hard work, and can often lead to a lot of injuries. So the main thing that we need to make sure that we have is support. We need a deeper squad. We need like we just signed a new left back, Costas Simikas. So he's going to be like a backup for Robertson, which is a very interesting signing, I must say. And we're also looking to sign Thiago, which is almost about to happen. We have been in contact with Thiago for a while, and we've also opened conversations with him. So it's Bayern now holding out for a fee, but like if we can land him, then our squad will be a lot more deeper than it is. So that should keep the intensity up, the competition up. And yeah, I mean, like it's a very interesting season ahead because we never won a trophy and never won the EPL trophy. So depending, it will be something new.
Well,
Here, what one point I would like to add is that Liverpool, even though, like you said, keeping up the intensity for 2 seasons, another major factor was injuries. I don't think over the last 2 seasons they had a lot of major injuries. Maybe in the first season, Oxlade was injured for a bit, but he wasn't a first 11 player anyway. So he was a sub getting injured. So I mean, one of the bigger players getting injured, maybe say a Van Dijk missing out for 6 months or something like that, that will really hurt the club. Like I think that I don't know how Liverpool will be able to cope if they have an injury, because we haven't seen them coping with something like that before. And plus, like you said, the intensity, 2 years already at that level, it's not easy for any team to keep replicating that performance.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I think it's important that we continue to sign players and keep increasing the depth of our squad. So I mean that's Liverpool. Let's try to get back on the topic with Arsenal because we really want to get as much of you as
Let's go
possible in
for it.
this time. So the next piece of news that Arsenal that broke out this week with Arsenal was Aubameyang and Willian and Thomas Partey. You know, this entire Arsenal. I mean, this entire transfer market is very centrally based around Arsenal. And like, what would you say is the main signing, and how important is Aubameyang to you?
Okay. So let me start off first by saying Aubameyang, Arsenal actually yesterday they were supposed to confirm that he has signed an extension. It did not come out, but the Willian news came out. So signing Willian for 100 a week, I think is a decent signing. And what Willian will do for Aubameyang. So basically, Willian comes and plays on the left. Aubameyang moves to the center. And we all know Aubameyang is a prolific goal scorer. 20 goals per season is what he actually gives. And this season he was playing center. It's going to be crazy for Arsenal and even for Aubameyang
Um,
because he missed out this season on the Golden Boot. Sorry. Again.
Yeah, sorry, I think your Wi-Fi was breaking a bit over there. But like all Arsenal fans, I think it's very easy to say that Aubameyang is the main player that you're looking forward to signing a brand new contract. But would you say that having Willian sign, do you think that's if Arsenal stop there, do you think that's a good transfer market? Do you think it's a good season?
No, no, not at all. Just having Willian in is not going to help at all. So basically, we definitely need a centre back. Like there's even with William Saliba coming in, we need another centre back because he's too young. He's not just gonna come in and become a bandai.
Sorry,
Like
I think your
you
Wi-Fi is
have
breaking a
to
bit.
give him time to mature. He's gonna take time.
Hush,
And even
hush,
with our centre.
yeah, hush it, pause it.
2, 1, go.
Superb. So now I wanted to get your advice on the current transfer market because I think everyone can agree that Arsenal have been super involved with busy in the transfer market, and signing a new contract with with Aubameyang probably is the main priority. But like even getting the
Willian.
Willian contract done, that was also a massive one. I think it's important that we talk about it. So go for it.
Yeah, so basically getting Willian in, according to me, was hugely important for Aubameyang because Willian can play on the left and Oba can come back to the center, and through the center, Oba definitely gets more goals. And Oba, we know him, he's a goal machine. Like last season, I think he was joint top scorer with Salah and Mane. This season, he's out by 1 goal, if I'm not wrong. So, obviously Oba is crucial for any team he plays for. And the same with Arsenal. So if we get him in the center, with Willian being more creative, I think Oba can have a goals galore and he can go absolutely crazy. And even Willian coming in with the kind of winning mentality and the experience that he has will be great for the young guys like Saka and Willock, who've been amazing this season. Like Saka has had like 10 assists throughout. Like I think, but he can't play week in, week out. So Willian coming in, so Saka and Willian probably rotating. For a young player, development is more important than his performance at the very moment because he's building into his career. So I think Willian's going to be great there. But again, coming to the point that getting only Willian this transfer market would be atrocious. We have to get some defensive players. There's news that Torreira is going out. So I think Thomas can be moving in from Atletico if that is true. So I'm excited about that. Let's see how it goes.
Zahan, I wanted to ask you, Lacazette. So, do you think Lacazette's importance? Like, I've heard last week that Juventus want to sign Lacazette. Do you think Arsenal should go all out to keep him, or do you think that you can get the money and use that money for something better for some other position?
So comparing now, let's see our two strikers that we have, Laka and Oba. Laka can hold the play. I think he's second best in holding up the play after Giroud probably. Like he holds the ball, waits for the entire team to come. He's very crucial for a different tactic. And we know Arteta uses different tactics against different teams. So I think Arteta won't let go of Lacazette that easily. But that being said, if a good price comes in from Juve, especially because we know what kind of shambles they are in right now, so I think maybe if we get the right price, Arsenal can let him go and raise funds for another player. But it won't be at, he won't go cheap for sure. Like Arsenal will get him out because he's been crucial. He's been, after Arteta has come in, especially after the lockdown, Lacazette has totally upped his game and he's been great. So I don't think we let go of him that easy.
Do you think? I mean, that's an interesting point. I also wanted to know, like, a little bit more about your thoughts on is Aubameyang signing a contract more important than keeping Lacazette?
Yeah, for me, Aubameyang right now is the main player. Seeing Aubameyang leave would hurt the club most compared to any other player. Obviously, because of his crazy goal scoring record. Like Arsenal, for example, if you see the game against City in the FA Cup, so one counter attack he missed, I think, and then like 1.5 minutes later, it was a crazy finish from him from the left side. So, he just turns the game around, and that are the kind of players you need. Like, for example, having Salah in Liverpool and having Bruno come in United, I think Aubameyang is at the very top level in the Premier League, and you need these players if you want to compete. So you have to hold on to them. Arsenal's made the mistake of letting key players go in the past for the money purpose of raising the club and getting the stadium built. But now I think it's crucial for us to hold on to Aubameyang.
Understood. Very interesting take on it. I think it was very diplomatic, and I would say that uh, you're being very Arsenal-esque in that manner. So yeah, I think it's quite out there, and I've actually been hearing a lot of rumors about Thomas Partey from Atletico, but I think they're holding out for a good 40 million to reach their release clause. And do you think Arsenal can complete that signing? Do you think that they have it in their budget? And where do you think Thomas Partey will fit if it does happen?
So I think 40 million straight cash up top will never happen with Arsenal this season. So more like what Arsenal is hitting for is giving away Matteo Guendouzi and getting a player, maybe Guendouzi plus. So initially the talks that I was hearing was Guendouzi plus 5 or 10 million for him, which I think is kind of fair because Guendouzi has a lot of potential. The top teams were interested in him, Barcelona, Juve, Atletico. So we have to see how that works out. But I think it's a straight swap. Like even before the lockdown, Guendouzi was starting and Ceballos wasn't. So Guendouzi going out and Ceballos taking over. I think if Thomas comes in, he moves straight into the starting 11 with probably Xhaka, or even if you want a more defensive approach, you can play both of them. So I think, and Thomas can be the way Pep used certain players in all positions. I think Thomas can even play centre back. He can play CDM. He's a very versatile guy, so he can fit in anywhere in Arteta's plan. That's why I think he's so important for Arteta because of his versatility.
I feel
Nice.
Arsenal are just bargaining with every club for what they want. I think a club will quote a player like, okay, we want 40 million. Arsenal, okay, I'll give you 20. That's what they're
20.
doing.
Oh, no, we start off with 5
Oh,
and then we
5.
move our way up.
Yeah, I
You
think
don't
it's very
remember the
Arsenal.
Suarez deal, the additional £1.
I
That was
know
a
that's
classic.
exactly what you missed out on, and then you went to sign Ozil. So congratulations on that. I think it was a great move, I must say. And we actually held up with Suarez for quite some time, and he ended up becoming,
Yeah,
a superstar, as you might call it. So I
true.
mean, that's a very interesting thing, and I think Thomas Partey will be a top signing if they can make it happen. I think when Arsenal were linked to them, I was really surprised, because Atletico's a top side, and they've been playing the Champions League for the longest time. And Partey has a massive potential. I would not compare him to Guendouzi, unfortunately. I think he's way off from Guendouzi, but it does not mean that they can't make it happen. So I mean, yeah, give or take, I do see Arsenal being linked to them, but I don't see him signing for Arsenal anytime soon. Yeah,
Now,
Uh,
Harsh, give me your thoughts.
sorry.
yeah, Thomas Partey. I don't think he's going to sign for Arsenal this season, to be honest. Looking at the finances and the way they have been doing business for the past couple of seasons with Ceballos, and like I had mentioned earlier, that they spend most of the transfer budget on Pepe. I don't think Arsenal will pull off Thomas Partey. I think they should now start looking at, which I'm sure they are. They should start looking at alternatives, cheap alternatives, maybe some players on loan that can fill up the squad.
Yeah.
Although such measures haven't worked perfectly for Arsenal. I mean, I don't think Torreira has been a great player for Arsenal. Let's be honest with that. I don't think he's performed as well as everyone had expected him to. But yeah, Arsenal should be looking at alternatives right now rather than Thomas Partey if this is getting dragged out for too long.
Yeah, Torreira has been like he had this massive breakout season with Unai Emery, and then since then, I think his highlight of Arsenal career was scoring against Tottenham in that last 10 minutes. I think,
Or
if I'm
crying
not
on the
wrong.
sidelines. Wasn't he crying on the sidelines on?
Yeah, I'm
Zan?
sure it was the Spurs goal was better than the crying part. Yeah.
Give or take here and there. So yeah, I mean that was very interesting conversation. I think thanks for that. I think a lot of Arsenal fans in the comment section below uh, can add their thoughts in it. Tell us which ones you all think are the main signings. Tell us what you'd like to see from Arsenal in the future, and just general feedback would be very helpful for us. So yeah, getting on to the next piece of the next segment, which is completely away from Arsenal, but we would like your thoughts on it anyways because it involves the Europa League.
So we are now going towards Europa League, the league that still matters today, not because of Manchester United, but because of Inter Milan. So United played Copenhagen last round and just made it through even with a full team. I like to get your opinion on like you guys' opinion on this because United they fielded a full team and they yet beat Copenhagen in the 95th minute. So Vihan, what do you think about this?
So let's be honest. I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I really don't think the Europa League matters that much anymore, at least to me or any Liverpool fans out there. So
For
yeah, I
now.
don't know how much it matters, but again, taking United's victory into account, it was not a smooth one. I watched the game on mute, so it was not a smooth one. But I would say that Bruno Fernandes comes in clutch again, which was a big reason why they've signed Bruno, and it was very very interesting match to watch because you actually got to see a lot of how United have been attacking lately, and I think it's an interesting take on it. Zan, what would you say considering that Arsenal, with Europa League?
No, no. So let's get to it. So honestly, I think United are going to come to the finals, and I think Inter are going to come to the finals, and I think Lukaku is going to score the winner. And then United are going to go without anything.
That is the biggest fear that I have that Lukaku, Ashley Young, and Sanchez are just going to turn up and just you know
For
dismantle a full
revenge.
team down.
For
But
revenge.
They're going
wait,
to
hold
show you
on,
all what you are
Vihan.
next.
I do want to say this. You were in a Europa League finals with against Sevilla. You really sure that Liverpool fans don't care about Europa League, or is it because that you all are not in Europa League right now?
See, I mean, like if you're in a competition, you're going to care about it. But yeah, I mean, Liverpool being the competition was the reason why I watched it. Now there's not that. I mean, I would not say that it's a very interesting competition given the teams and the the level of football that they play at. It's very low. It's very low compared to the Liverpool
Yeah, sure, sure.
competition. So I would say that the Europa League is going to continue the way it is, and I'll probably only watch the finals with or without
But
United.
being fair, United don't have an easy part in the semis. Huh? Their opponents are the king of the Europas, so it's going to be really difficult. But saying all of this, I think Inter win Europa according to me.
Yeah, so I was coming to the next question about Sevilla. Do you think everyone is underestimating Sevilla because they are, as you had mentioned, they are the kings of Europa League, and United they beat United the last time they were in Champions League and pretty badly. If you guys had seen the match, like I had seen the match, and they were humbled at Old Trafford. That was which was United were humbled at Old Trafford. But
Happy
Wasim Ben
memories for
Yedder.
you. Eh?
Ben Yedder,
Wasim Ben Yedder.
yeah. So thankfully he's not there in the team anymore. But I think Sevilla is a good shout. As a Manchester United fan, I hope United do go through. But I'm just going to say it here that I won't be surprised if Sevilla beat them because I just feel seeing the match against Copenhagen, it just felt like most of the players just didn't care about the competition, and it feels like only Ole cares about winning the trophy. And I'm at a bit of crossroads. Obviously, I, as a United fan, winning a trophy is great. Zahan had mentioned that winning FA Cup was great for Arsenal, and so for us, winning Europa League would be a good season, decent season considering how it all began. So yeah, in terms of United winning the Europa League, I think they will lose to Inter Milan in the finals, but I don't see them. Sorry, I don't see United stumbling against Sevilla, though I wouldn't be surprised. What do you think,
I
Zahan?
agree. I agree. I think that United will turn up in the semis and they will get the better of Sevilla. And going into the finals, honestly, okay, being fair, it's going to be a very difficult, probably one goal in it, a one goal deciding goal. That's going to be the finals. But I think United are going to come into the finals, especially if Bruno and Pogba turn up. Then I think it's very difficult to stop United because post the lockdown, I've been watching them play, and even though I hate to say it, they've been great. Bruno and Pogba together, and especially the way I think what happened in the previous game was that the end product just lacked. Martial wanted to cut the entire team. He got into the box beating everybody, and then there was no outcome. And I don't think that will happen again and again. So it was a one-off day. I think they are going to come into the finals, but then maybe it's going to be Lukaku showing them what he has. Huh?
It's going to be a very interesting one, given that Lukaku, Sanchez, and Ashley Young are all pretty much set starters for Inter Milan, and it would make for one hell of a finals. It would definitely be considered massive Champions League finals if it was back 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago,
Ouch.
when both heavyweights were massive uh, figures in the football league. But now, considering that they're both like a shell of each other's personality and shell of each other's quality, yeah, it would make for an interesting final, no doubt. But I mean, it's still Europa League. I just can't sit and tell you that I'm very interested in it because it's Europa League.
So if United and Inter Milan reach the Europa League finals, you wouldn't watch it because it's not interesting.
I would, I
Hmm.
100% would, but that's only because I like football,
Okay, so
not
now
because I like the game.
now it's football.
Yeah.
First it's Liverpool playing in a particular competition, and then it's football. If other teams are there in the competition, then it doesn't matter really.
Yeah,
Calm down,
just hear all these excuses. Yeah.
calm down. United are no longer in the Europa League after this season, so you don't have to get defensive
No, no,
about this.
no.
I
What's
think the
wrong
real
with you? I
reason.
think they're definitely in the Europa. So they're going to not qualify for Champions League in the group stage and come back down to the Europa.
Yeah, assuming
It's a
too much, Zahan,
possibility.
for
It is a possibility. There is a possibility.
a team that
Definitely,
hasn't
definitely.
won the Champions League, you're talking a lot.
Ouch.
Clearly.
Touching a chord there. Huh?
I know, man. Trust me. But does Arsenal have a chance next season, Azan, for the Europa League?
I think like it's going to be very difficult to predict what Arteta does because it's solely based on what kind of players we get in. And right now, honestly, the club is in shambles with its finances. Nobody knows what's going on. So I just think we have to wait out and first watch who we sign. And then I think in the first couple of games, we'll come to know what Arteta is up for. See, honestly, I've got a very positive vibe from Arteta, seeing the way he played against the top teams. But again, now it's going to be like, how can he consistently get that out of the team the way Klopp has managed to get consistency in? Consistency is
But
going to be to win anything. Yeah.
but do you think it's a possibility given the squad? Because there has to be a
Ye-
lot of overhaul and there has to be a lot of
No,
correct
I
transfers
think
and Ozil has to leave. So yeah,
so. If you see, I think it was last year that we lost in the final to Chelsea. Like they more quality with the likes of Saka coming in and even Tierney coming in, and they are the future. So I think it is possible, but again, saying how football is, you can't predict anything. The injuries coming in, the way the managers perform, the fans have such a big role, and now apparently even pandemics have big roles in it. So
yeah, you got a point there. You got a point there for sure. Yeah, so like let's end this beautiful podcast with one quick news that came out a while back, which was Sari. Sari has been replaced even after winning the Sudeco. So like now that Sari has been replaced, like after winning a trophy and getting knocked out of the Champions League, obviously because Juventus was massive in it. I think. Do you think Polo has a chance? Do you think Polo, being the new Juventus manager, has a chance, Harsh?
Well, in terms of Sari, It was coming. I think Juventus, the team that they've made for the past couple of years, the investment in Ronaldo, I mean, spending 100 million on a 30-year-old. Not saying Ronaldo was not a great investment, but the fact that they're spending so much money, there was an indication that they want to big trophies, and by big trophies, I mean Champions League. In terms of Pirlo, I'm not too sure. Juventus are going through are using the route of what United and Chelsea and now Arsenal are doing, which is trying to sign managers which have played for the club. So looking at a player and thinking that these managers that were players once have the DNA of this club, and so they can understand the club better. But I think the fact that both, not both, Ole, Lampard, and Arteta have already had experience
And
behind
Gerard.
them. And sorry, we are talking about top clubs here, not Rangers.
Oh,
Uh,
oh,
but
go ahead.
yeah, so these players that have had experience before with managers like Zidane, even Zidane, forgot to mention that Zidane has had experience with Ancelotti. Ole got relegated with Cardiff City. Arteta got experience from Pep Guardiola, and Lampard worked with Derby County. So they've had the experience. They know how to manage a dressing room and change the tactics according to the match situation. I don't know if Polo will do that. I think it's a very risky move. I think this time they're not playing safe and they just want to try something they've not tried before. Well, we just have to wait and see how this turns out because Juventus have got a great team. I think some players shouldn't be there that are already there right now. I think Higuain would stand out from that. If they get a few replacements for such players, I think they will be in a prime position to win the Champions League if everything goes right.
Yeah, I think we lost Zahan, just like Zahan lost in the finals against Chelsea, and he lost out of the Europa League place. Yeah, so sorry about that connection issue. I think Zahan has terrible network, just like Arteta does. So, so now that he's not on call, we can totally batter him. But yeah, I mean, just to conclude with that conversation, I think you got a good point with that, and we'll have to wait and see. But I think Polo just he got I mean, he got the job of the under 21 Juventus squad 1 week before getting the main head coach.
Yeah,
So, do you think it's too fast? Do you think it's rushed?
it is rushed. I don't know why they did it. As I said before, I think this is a matter of just going all out and just putting their bet on a move that might work out and might not work out. If it works out, I think Juventus are going to be in a prime position to win the Champions League for a couple of seasons. But if it doesn't, then they might not even win Serie A because Inter Milan is growing. They've signed Hakimi for next season. So they are looking stronger, and they've showed that they can challenge Juventus this season, but they just couldn't get the wins necessary. So I think it's a big risk. As I said before, we just have to wait and see how it pans out.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a give and take here and there. Now that Inter Milan have come up quite a bit with their new signings, it's going to be quite an interesting season ahead in Coppa Italia. So, okay, fine, the Serie A.
Coppa Italia.
So, sorry about that. So yeah, so I think it's going to be an interesting season. Even Roma are looking pretty strong. Lazio are looking pretty strong. So I mean, they've definitely got their work cut out, and now that Ronaldo's there, it's a good possibility. But it doesn't matter what happens in the Serie A. It all depends on the Champions League. And now that Polio has come in, he definitely has the experience of playing in the Champions League. Let's see how it pans out. I think it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And yeah, so concluding our beautiful podcast episode number 2, Harsh, I think it was good fun,
Yep.
and we got a good glimpse of what Arsenal fans think about it. And as you can tell, Arsenal fans' internet is gone. So
Yeah.
apologies about that. And yeah, subscribe, like, follow, do it, whatever is needed. I don't know the outro, but thanks a lot for watching, and we will join you soon. We actually have a very interesting podcast coming up tomorrow, right? Is that
Yeah.
right?
We are going to be
Yeah.
talking about Champions League after City and Leon play the match. Yeah, we'll be giving our predictions as well. So let's see how that turns out.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw Barcelona capitulate. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for our view on that, and then hopefully we can get yours as well. So that's it. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye.